Strength doesn't appear the day you feel ready. Strength begins the moment you refuse to keep repeating the small story you've been telling yourself for years. I'm shy. I'm awkward. I don't belong. That story has choked your identity so tightly, it feels like truth. But it's not truth. It's a habit. And every habit can be rewritten. Shyness isn't who you are. It's a survival script your nervous system memorized. The hesitation before you speak, the overthinking after you do, the tightening in your chest when you enter a room. These are patterns, not destiny. The only thing standing between you and a different life is the narrative you've accepted about who you're allowed to be. This audiobook exists to break that narrative at its root. If you've ever shrunk in social situations or avoided connection because your body whispered, "Don't embarrass yourself," you're not weak. You're running outdated programming. And like any program, it can be updated. Here, you'll learn the real mechanics of social confidence, emotional regulation, reading unspoken cues, and responding instead of reacting. But you'll also work at the energetic level, the frequency you project before you say a word. People feel you before they hear you. When your story changes, your presence changes. This is not about becoming someone else. It's about releasing the anxious version built from fear, so the real you, the steady, grounded, sharp you, can finally lead. Every small action you take rewires your identity. I can speak. I can be seen. I can handle this. If you're tired of hiding at the edges of your own life, this is your turning point. Social confidence isn't a dream. It's a skill. And by the end of this journey, it will be yours. If you're ready to rise above the noise, like the video. It tells YouTube you're choosing awareness over autopilot. Subscribe now, and don't miss the next chapter in your evolution. And remember, the deepest transformation belongs to those who stay until the very end. Chapter 1. Shyness is a habit, not your identity. Shyness feels permanent only because you've practiced it for so long. Most people think shyness is part of their personality, something they were born with, something woven into their DNA. But the truth is far simpler and far more liberating. Shyness is a learned response, a habit, a loop your brain has rehearsed until it runs automatically, often without your awareness. Think about any habit you've ever built. You didn't wake up one day craving coffee. You learned to crave it. You didn't instinctively scroll your phone when bored. You trained your brain to do that. You didn't naturally choose the same seat in class or at work. Your nervous system made that choice comfortable through repetition. Shyness works exactly the same way. The hesitation before you speak, the fear of saying the wrong thing, the mental replay after a conversation. None of this is your identity. It's simply your mind repeating what it believes keeps you safe. Your brain's only job is survival. Not happiness, not confidence. Survival. So when you avoid eye contact, or stay quiet in a group, or decline an invitation because you feel anxious, your brain interprets this as success. You avoided discomfort. You stayed safe. Let's repeat that again. Every avoidance is reinforcement. Every reinforcement is a stronger habit. And every habit becomes a self-story. Soon, I avoided that situation because I was scared, quietly transforms into, I am shy. A behavior becomes an identity. A temporary feeling becomes a personality label. A single moment becomes a lifelong story. But stories can be rewritten. And this is where your freedom begins. The loop that built your shyness. Shyness forms through a predictable cycle. You feel social discomfort. Your chest tightens. Your breath shifts. Your brain scans for danger. You avoid or withdraw. You stay silent or step back. Your nervous system feels immediate relief. Temporary comfort reinforces withdrawal. Your brain labels this as the safe behavior. Every repetition strengthens the pattern. Over time, the cycle becomes unconscious. You don't even think about stepping back. Your body does it before your mind can intervene. But here's the empowering truth. Anything learned can be unlearned. Any habit created can be replaced. Any identity formed can be dissolved. You did not choose to be shy, but you can choose who you become next. Your nervous system is not your enemy. Your nervous system isn't trying to sabotage you. It's trying to protect you using outdated information. At some point in your past, childhood, school, awkward experiences, you learned that being quiet, unnoticed, or hidden reduced emotional risk. Your younger self interpreted social danger as real danger. Now you're grown, but your nervous system still responds like you're that vulnerable version of yourself. This is why telling yourself to just be confident never works. You're trying to use logic to override biology. Confidence does not begin with thought. It begins with the nervous system. When your body learns that social situations are not threats, your mind naturally follows with clarity and calmness. That's why the work in this book addresses both psychology and energy, the two forces shaping your responses moment by moment. Rewiring the habit. Exposure in microdoses. Changing shyness does not require dramatic leaps. You don't need to start giving speeches or forcing yourself into high-pressure situations. In fact, that would overwhelm you and reinforce the belief that social situations are dangerous. The real transformation comes from small, controlled actions. Holding eye contact. 1-2 seconds longer. Saying hi to a cashier. Asking one genuine question in a group. Making a comment instead of staying silent. Allowing your nervous system to feel mild discomfort without escaping. These micro-actions send a powerful new message to your brain. I can handle this. Your nervous system starts updating its blueprint. Your identity starts shifting. Your energy stabilizes in social environments. Over time, these tiny acts accumulate into a new pattern, one where confidence becomes more familiar than fear. The energetic side of shyness. Confidence isn't just mental, it is energetic. Every emotion you feel is a frequency in the body. Fear contracts. Shame lowers your field. Avoidance collapses your energy inward. Confidence expands. Calmness stabilizes your field. Self-respect raises your internal signal. People don't just see your shyness, they feel it. And the opposite is also true. When your internal state changes, people feel that too. Shyness starts as a vibration, a tightened, inward-pulled state that tells the world, I don't want to be here. As you begin unwinding that contraction through small exposures, breathwork, and emotional regulation, all covered in this book, your energy becomes more open, grounded, and balanced. Confidence then stops being a performance. It becomes a frequency you carry. Identity, the root of all change. Here is the most important idea in this chapter. Shyness is not who you are. Shyness is who you practiced being. When you repeatedly tell yourself, I am shy, you reinforce a belief that shapes your emotions, behaviors, posture, and energy. This book will teach you to shift that identity from the inside out. No more. I am shy. I am awkward. I don't know what to say. I'm bad at socializing. These are assumptions your past self made, not truths. Your new identity begins with a different belief. I am learning. I am growing. I am becoming confident one moment at a time. I am not shy. I am untraining old habits. Identity creates action. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates belief. Belief becomes identity. And once this cycle turns in your favor, everything changes. This is where your transformation begins. You don't have to become someone loud or extroverted. You don't have to pretend or perform. You simply need to break the old loop and build a new one. Shyness was learned. Confidence is learned. Both are practiced. Only one will define you from this point forward. Your job is not to become a different person. Your job is to remove the layers of fear and self-protection that cover the real you, the you who already exists underneath. In this chapter, you saw the truth. You are not stuck. You are not limited. You are not inherently shy. You have simply been rehearsing an outdated self. And now, you begin rewriting it. Chapter 2. The Secret Power of Emotional Intelligence. Most people think social confidence comes from charm, extroversion, or natural talent. But real confidence, the kind that makes people trust you, respect you, and feel safe around you, comes from one skill: emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, is your ability to understand emotions, your own and others, and to use that understanding to navigate life with clarity instead of chaos. It is the difference between reacting and responding, between insecurity and grounded presence, between feeling lost in social situations and feeling in control of yourself. If confidence is the structure of your social life, emotional intelligence is the foundation, holding everything in place. EQ is not about being soft. It's about being powerful. There is a misconception that emotional intelligence is gentle, sensitive, or passive. That couldn't be more wrong. EQ is strength, quiet strength, strategic strength. The kind of strength people feel even when you haven't said a word. Emotionally intelligent people don't get thrown off by disrespect, don't crumble in tense moments, don't get drowned by their own thoughts, don't let others define how they feel, don't panic when something unexpected happens. They move through the world with a controlled presence, calm but alert, kind but not naive, open but not unprotected. This is what makes them magnetic. People are drawn to those who understand themselves. Part 1. Self-awareness. Knowing your internal weather. Self-awareness is the foundation of EQ. It's the ability to notice what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how it affects your behavior. Most people skip this entirely. They feel something and immediately act it out. They get anxious. They withdraw. They feel insecure. They start overthinking. They sense tension. They try to impress or perform. They feel embarrassed. They avoid that situation forever. This is emotional autopilot, not emotional intelligence. Emotionally intelligent people pause. They observe. They ask, what's actually happening inside me right now? What triggered this? Is this from the present or from the past? Is my reaction helping or hurting me? This moment of awareness interrupts old patterns. It gives you back your freedom to choose, instead of letting your emotions choose for you. Part 2. Self-regulation. The art of not losing yourself. After awareness comes regulation. This is where emotional intelligence becomes power. Self-regulation is your ability to stay centered even when emotions rise. It's what keeps you from snapping back when someone disrespects you, shrinking when you feel judged, spiraling into anxiety, shutting down when conversations get heavy. It does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means responding instead of reacting. Regulation sounds like, I feel anxious, but I'm still in control. I'm upset, but I don't need to explode. I'm nervous, but I can breathe through this. I'm uncomfortable, but I can stay present. This is emotional maturity, and it is incredibly attractive. People trust those who can hold themselves together, and it's trainable. Breathwork, grounding, inner dialogue, reframing, All of these tools will appear throughout this book, and each one strengthens your ability to guide your emotional state, no matter what is happening around you. Part 3. Empathy. Seeing with the eyes of others. Most people listen to reply. Emotionally intelligent people listen to understand. Empathy is not about agreeing. It's not about being emotional or overly soft. It's simply the ability to see the world through someone else's lens. When you have empathy, you read their tone, you recognize their emotional state, you adjust your approach. You communicate in a way that lands. Empathy makes people feel safe, and safety builds connection. It is one of the greatest social advantages you can have, because people are drawn to those who get them. Part 4. Social awareness. Reading the room like a pro. Some people walk into a room and instantly sense the atmosphere. Tension, excitement, discomfort, energy shifts. Others walk in blind. Social awareness is your ability to pick up on the subtle signals most people miss. Body language, tone, micro-expressions, group dynamics, unspoken rules, shifts in emotional energy. This skill creates powerful social confidence. You don't fear social situations because you're attuned to what's happening beneath the surface. You're no longer guessing. You're reading. You're responding with intention. This is the difference between a socially anxious person and a socially intelligent one. Anxious people fear what they can't read. Emotionally intelligent people see clearly. Part 5. Communication. Making your words land. Emotional intelligence is not complete without communication. Expressing yourself in a way that others can feel, not just hear. This means choosing the right words, using the right tone, matching emotional intensity, speaking with clarity, listening with presence, staying calm even when others aren't. Communication is not about talking more. It's about talking better. With emotional intelligence, your communication becomes grounded, intentional, and impactful. People don't just hear you. They receive you. Part 6. Handling criticism without falling apart. Emotionally unintelligent people take everything personally. They see criticism as an attack. They panic, get defensive, or collapse. Emotionally intelligent people filter criticism like this. Is this useful? If yes, integrate it. Is this emotional projection? If yes, detach. Is this about the situation or about me? If it's not personal, stay centered. Criticism becomes information, not identity. This one shift alone can change your entire social life, because nothing destabilizes your confidence faster than mismanaging criticism. Part 7. Stress management. Staying centered under pressure. EQ gives you the ability to stay calm while others crumble. It helps you breathe through discomfort, maintain clarity during conflict, keep presence during heated discussions, stay grounded during social anxiety. When your emotions don't control you, your energy stabilizes. People feel that. People trust that. People follow that. The cosmic dimension of emotional intelligence. Now we go deeper, the 30% spiritual layer. Every emotion emits a frequency. Every thought shifts your internal vibration. Your emotional state is not just psychological, it's energetic. Emotional intelligence raises your frequency. When you regulate your emotions, your energy field becomes calmer, cleaner, and more magnetic. When you understand others, your energy becomes safer and more inviting. When you respond instead of react, your presence becomes stronger. People don't just connect with your words, they connect with your signal. And emotional intelligence is how you shape that signal. Emotional intelligence is your social superpower. The world rewards those who can. Read the room, sense emotions, stay calm under pressure, understand themselves, understand others, communicate with clarity. No amount of extroversion can replace emotional intelligence. EQ is what makes you memorable. It makes you trusted. It makes you compelling. It makes you magnetic. And the best part? You can build it from scratch. This chapter isn't about who you've been. It's about who you're becoming. And now that you understand emotional intelligence, you're ready to use it as the foundation for the confidence you're about to build. Chapter 3. Real confidence is quiet, grounded, and unbreakable. Most people misunderstand confidence. They think confidence is loud, a big personality, a bold entrance, a voice that fills the room. But that's not confidence. That's performance. Real confidence is quiet. Real confidence is grounded. Real confidence is unshakable, not because it demands attention, but because it does not need it. The most confident people in the world don't chase approval. They don't compete for validation. They don't need to dominate the space. They simply exist in their truth, and that alone commands respect. This is the kind of confidence that doesn't crack under pressure, doesn't beg for reassurance, and doesn't collapse when someone disapproves. It is steady, controlled, and rooted in something deeper than external image: self-trust. The difference between loud confidence and real confidence. Loud confidence is often insecurity in disguise. People who talk over others, brag, dominate conversations, or seek constant attention are not confident. They're compensating. They are performing confidence because internally they don't feel enough. Real confidence, on the other hand, looks like calm breathing, grounded posture, unhurried speech, deliberate silence, controlled reactions, steady eye contact. It looks like someone who isn't in a rush to prove anything. A confident person is not fighting to be heard. They trust that their presence already communicates something meaningful. The root of quiet confidence. Self-trust. Confidence is not built by pretending to be bold. It is built by consistently proving to yourself that you can rely on you. Self-trust is built when you keep promises to yourself. You take action even when uncomfortable. You follow your own standards. You don't abandon yourself to please others. You speak the truth even when your voice shakes. When your mind knows, "I will not betray myself," confidence becomes your natural state. This is why some people just feel confident. They've built an internal track record of courage. They've shown themselves who they are through repeated action. And confidence built from self-trust is unbreakable because it doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. Confidence comes from emotional control, not volume. Confidence has nothing to do with the size of your personality. It has everything to do with the steadiness of your emotions. When you can stay calm, you think clearly. You speak clearly. You read the room. You act with intention. You carry authority. Calmness is power. Most people cannot stay calm. They rush, panic, overthink, or react impulsively when stressed. This is why someone who can stay composed automatically stands out. People trust calmness. People feel safe around calmness. People follow calmness. Why? Because calm energy signals control, and control is confidence, the power of silence. Confident people aren't afraid of silence. They use it. Silence is presence. Silence is clarity. Silence is power. A shy person avoids silence because they fear judgment. An insecure person fills silence because they fear being irrelevant. A confident person welcomes silence because they know their value doesn't depend on constant noise. When you master silence, you stop rushing your thoughts. You stop chasing approval. You stop oversharing. You stop performing. You speak with purpose. Silence shifts your energy from anxious to intentional. It turns conversations from frantic into controlled. It allows your presence to expand. This is why charismatic, magnetic people often speak slowly, pause deliberately, and leave space in conversations. It creates weight behind their words. Confidence comes from presence, not performance. Most social anxiety comes from being stuck in your head, analyzing, rehearsing, overthinking your next move. Confident people are not thinking about themselves. They are present with what is happening. Presence is the antidote to self-consciousness. You cannot be anxious and present at the same time. When you stop asking, "What do they think of me?" and start asking, "What is actually happening right now?" your nervous system relaxes, your mind clears, your energy stabilizes, your confidence rises, self-consciousness traps you, presence frees you. Confidence lives in your body, not your thoughts. Confidence is not something you think. Confidence is something you become. It is physical, open chest, grounded feet, relaxed jaw, slow breath, steady gaze. Your body communicates before you speak. Your posture is a language. Your breath is a signal. Your energy reaches people before your words do. Most people try to fix their confidence mentally, while their body is still signaling fear. If your body stays in a collapsed, tense, closed state, your mind cannot generate confidence, because your nervous system is still in threat mode. Real confidence is built bottom up. Body, nervous system, emotions, thoughts, behavior. When you train your body to relax in social situations, confidence becomes your default state instead of a forced performance. Confidence is energetic, the 30% cosmic layer. Every human being radiates an emotional frequency. You can feel when someone walks into the room with frantic energy, anxious energy, heavy energy, grounded energy, warm energy, confident energy. People can feel your internal state, even if you never say a word. Real confidence is an energetic field you carry. Calm, steady, present, expansive. It is a frequency that says, "I'm not afraid to be seen. I'm not trying to prove anything. I trust myself. I belong here." You don't project this with words. You project it with the energy behind your words. When your internal field is stable, people feel that stability. They respond differently. They treat you differently. They respect you without knowing why. This is why emotional alignment is crucial. You cannot fake energy. People feel what you truly feel. But here's the good news. Confidence is not a personality trait. It is an energetic habit, and habits can be trained. The shift from external confidence to internal confidence. External confidence is how you look, how you dress, how you speak, how others react. Internal confidence is how deeply you trust yourself, how you regulate your emotions, how grounded your energy feels, how you carry your presence. External confidence can be shaken. Internal confidence cannot. When you build confidence from the inside out, you don't fear judgment. You don't crave approval. You don't collapse when someone challenges you. You move through the world with quiet authority. Real confidence is not loud. It's certain. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most confident. The calmest one usually is. Quiet confidence, grounded confidence, controlled confidence. This is the version that lasts. This is the version that grows. This is the version that makes you magnetic in every social situation. Because real confidence is not a performance. It is a presence you are now beginning to build. Chapter 4. Stop overthinking social situations. If shyness is the habit, then overthinking is the engine that keeps it alive. Overthinking is the silent force that turns simple moments into psychological battles. A casual interaction becomes a threat. A normal pause in conversation becomes, "They think I'm boring." A neutral expression becomes, "They don't like me." Overthinking exaggerates danger, amplifies insecurity, and distorts reality, until your mind becomes the enemy you are trying to escape. But here's the truth you've never been told. You don't overthink because the situation is threatening. You overthink because your nervous system doesn't feel safe. Once you understand this, once you learn how to create internal safety, the mental noise begins to fade. Your mind becomes clear. Social interactions feel lighter. Presence replaces panic. This chapter shows you exactly how to get there. The real reason you overthink. Overthinking is a protective mechanism. Your brain is trying to prevent embarrassment, rejection, awkwardness, or emotional discomfort. It believes that if it analyzes every angle, predicts every possible scenario, and mentally rehearses every response, you'll stay safe. But this strategy backfires. The more you think, the more anxious you feel. The more anxious you feel, the more you think. It becomes a loop. Anticipation, anxiety, mental analysis, more anxiety, avoidance or withdrawal. Your mind is not trying to torture you. It's trying to protect you using outdated data. Overthinking is not an intelligence issue. It's a safety issue. Fix the safety, and the overthinking collapses. The spotlight effect. You are not being watched. Overthinkers have one unconscious belief. All eyes are on me. This is called the spotlight effect. The psychological tendency to believe people notice far more about us than they actually do. In reality, people are preoccupied with themselves. They don't replay your actions. They don't remember your mistakes. They don't analyze your behavior. If you understood how rarely people think about you, you would stop fearing judgment entirely. Your mind exaggerates your importance in other people's perceptions. But the moment you realize that everyone else is busy managing their own insecurities, something inside you relaxes. You stop performing. You stop panicking. You simply show up. Thoughts are not facts. They're habits. Overthinking feels convincing because your thoughts sound like truth. But thoughts are not truth. They're patterns. I sounded stupid. I made it awkward. They think I'm weird. I should have said something else. They must be judging me. These are not accurate assessments. These are trained reactions. You've repeated them for years, until your brain delivers them automatically. The moment you challenge these thoughts, the pattern begins to break. Ask yourself, what else could be true? Is this objective or emotional? Would I judge someone else this harshly? Is this fear or fact? This simple interruption weakens the overthinking loop. Your mind starts to realize, not every thought deserves your trust. Get out of your head by getting into the moment. The cure for overthinking is not thinking positive. The cure is presence. You cannot overthink and be present at the same time. Presence pulls you out of your inner world and places your attention back into the real world, back into sensory experience, back into connection, back into actual reality, instead of imagined catastrophe. Here are instant presence shift tools. 1. Feel your feet. Grounding your awareness in the body interrupts spiraling thoughts. 2. Slow your breath. Your brain mirrors your breath. Slow breath. Calm mind. 3. Look at one specific detail. A person's hands, a cup on the table, a pattern on the wall. Attention shifts from me to this moment. 4. Ask a question. Focusing on the other person breaks internal analysis. 5. Move your shoulders or jaw slightly. Releases physical tension. Stops mental tightening. Presence isn't magical. It's mechanical. You recenter your senses, and the mental noise loses power. The 5-second rule for overthinkers. Most overthinking happens in the moment before action. You want to speak, but your mind jumps in. You want to approach someone, but your anxiety takes over. You want to contribute, but fear wins. The rule is simple. Act within 5 seconds before your brain starts analyzing. When you feel the impulse, speak, ask, join, smile, introduce yourself, respond. Do it before your mind has time to interfere. This retrains your brain to favor action over hesitation. Over time, the instinct to move replaces the instinct to overthink. Stop replaying conversations. It's a trap. One of the most exhausting habits of overthinking is replaying everything you said. Why did I laugh like that? That joke didn't land. I shouldn't have told that story. Did I talk too much? Was that awkward? Replay is not reflection. Replay is punishment. You are not learning. You are attacking yourself. Here's the truth most people never realize. No one is thinking about your mistakes as much as you. In fact, most people didn't notice them at all. Your mind creates a story that feels like reality, but it's just a projection of your insecurity, not the truth. When the replay starts, interrupt it with, "I don't owe myself this interrogation." This is old programming. It's done. I'm done. Each interruption weakens the habit. The cosmic dimension. Overthinking is a frequency. Here's the spiritual layer, the part 99% of people never see. Overthinking isn't just mental, it's energetic. When you overthink, your energy contracts, your field collapses inward, your presence withdraws, your intuition goes silent, your aura becomes tight and nervous. This is why people feel something off when you're anxious. Not because of what you say, but because your energy shifts. Confidence, on the other hand, expands your field, strengthens your aura, opens your presence, aligns your intuition, stabilizes your frequency. Overthinking lowers your vibration. Presence raises it. The moment you drop back into your body and out of your head, your entire energetic field begins to expand again. People feel the difference immediately. The exit from overthinking. Overthinking ends when you teach your mind and body a new truth. I am safe. Once your nervous system believes that, social situations stop triggering spirals. You speak naturally. You listen fully. You respond intuitively. You stop micromanaging every move. You stop trying to predict the future. You stop replaying the past. Freedom arrives. You become grounded, clear, present, confident, and most importantly, you become yourself. Overthinking is not your personality. It is a habit your mind learned for protection. Now you are learning something new, something stronger, something freer. This is how your old self begins to fade. Chapter 5. Staying cool under pressure. It's easy to appear confident when nothing is challenging you, but who you become under pressure, intense conversations, high-stakes moments, unexpected conflict, social discomfort, that is your real measure of emotional strength. Most people collapse under pressure. Their breath shortens, their mind races, their body tightens, their presence shrinks, their voice shakes. Their insecurities take the wheel. And in that state, they say things they don't mean. They react instead of respond. And they leave feeling embarrassed, wishing they handled it better. But here's the truth that can change your life. Pressure doesn't create weakness. Pressure reveals the untrained parts of you. When you learn emotional regulation, when you know how to control your internal state, even when the moment is intense, you unlock a level of confidence most people never reach. Your nervous system is your real social skill. Everyone wants to feel confident, articulate, and sharp in social moments. But those abilities don't come from your personality. They come from your nervous system. When your nervous system feels safe, you become clear, calm, intelligent, intuitive. grounded, socially fluid. When your nervous system feels threatened, you become frozen, anxious, mentally scattered, physically tense, emotionally reactive, stuck inside your head. Confidence is a nervous system skill, not a personality trait. This is why emotionally intelligent people seem unshakable. They've trained their internal state. Pressure doesn't rattle them because their body knows how to return to calm. Imagine having that kind of stability. Imagine being the person who remains clear while everyone else spirals. That is the core of real social power. The 3 states of pressure. When you feel threatened or overwhelmed, your body shifts into one of 3 modes. 1. Fight. You get irritable, defensive, loud, or overreactive. 2. Flight. You avoid eye contact, shut down, or try to escape the situation. 3. Freeze. Your mind blanks, your body tightens, and you can't think or speak clearly. All 3 states are normal. All 3 are human. All 3 are signs that your body is trying to protect you. But none of these states support confidence. Your goal is not to avoid these states. You can't. Your goal is to recognize them early and guide your body back to safety before you lose control. That is emotional regulation. The 10-second reset. Here's a simple truth. Your mind can't calm your body, but your body can calm your mind. One of the fastest ways to regain control under pressure is the 10-second reset. It works anywhere. During a conversation, in a meeting, in a confrontation, on a date, or in any moment where panic starts rising. Step 1. Slow 1 exhale. Make it longer than your inhale. This instantly signals safety to your nervous system. Step 2. Drop your shoulders. Most pressure sits in the shoulders and jaw. Relaxing them empties tension. Step 3. Unlock your jaw. A tight jaw tells your brain, we're in danger. A loosened jaw tells it, we're safe. Step 4. Feel your feet. Grounding your awareness into your body pulls you out of your head. Step 5. Look at a single point. It focuses your attention and stops mental scattering. This entire process takes 10 seconds and shifts your biology from threat, control. Confidence comes back. Clarity comes back. Presence comes back. And suddenly, the situation doesn't feel as big as your mind made it. The power of the pause. Confident people don't rush under pressure. They pause. The pause is where your power lives. It is the moment where you regain control of the situation instead of letting the situation control you. The pause says, I am in charge of my reaction. I choose my response. I am not controlled by the moment. 2 seconds of silence can completely change the energy of a conversation. It allows you to steady your voice, choose better words, read the emotional landscape, break the panic loop, maintain dignity, hold your ground. Weak people react instantly. Strong people pause intentionally. Your internal voice, under pressure. When pressure rises, your self-talk becomes louder and harsher. Don't mess this up. They're judging you. You sound stupid. Say something, hurry. This is the voice of fear, and fear makes you collapse inside yourself. To stay calm, you must shift the voice inside your head. Replace panic with truth. I can handle this. This moment is not bigger than me. I don't need to be perfect, just present. I choose my pace. Breathe first, speak second. Your internal voice creates your internal state. The moment you speak to yourself differently, your nervous system responds differently. You regain control. The cosmic layer, pressure as a frequency. Here is the spiritual dimension. Pressure is not just psychological, it's energetic. When you're under pressure, your aura contracts, your field tightens, Your energy becomes sharp and jittery. Your presence collapses inward. People can feel this instantly. But when you regulate your emotions, when you soften your breath, ground your energy, and calm your body, your field expands again. Suddenly, you feel bigger. Your presence strengthens. Your intuition turns back on. Your awareness widens. People feel your steadiness. This is the source of energetic confidence, a calm, grounded frequency that others instinctively trust. No force, no performance, just presence. You become someone who carries stability, and stability is leadership. Confidence under pressure is trained, not born. You are not supposed to be naturally calm in every situation. No one is. Calmness is a skill, one you can practice and master. If you've spent years collapsing under pressure, that's not failure. It's simply a sign that your nervous system hasn't been trained yet. The techniques you're learning in this book retrain your body. They teach your nervous system a new possibility. I can stay calm even when things feel intense. And once your body learns that truth, everything changes. You stop freezing. You stop spiraling. You stop panicking. You stop abandoning yourself. You become the version of you that handles difficult moments with clarity, grace, and strength. Pressure doesn't break you anymore. It reveals your training. And from this point forward, you will train yourself to rise. Chapter 6. Emotional Self-Mastery. How to stop letting people rattle you. Most people don't lose control because of situations. They lose control because of people. A tone, a comment, a reaction, a shift in someone's energy, a face that looks disappointed, a voice that sounds irritated, one tiny trigger, and suddenly your entire emotional state collapses. Your confidence shakes, your clarity disappears, your breathing tightens, your mind starts racing. You crumble internally over something that did not deserve that much power. Here is the truth. You are not overwhelmed by people. You are overwhelmed by what their energy activates inside you. Emotional self-mastery is the ability to stay centered even when someone else's mood, tone, or reaction tries to pull you off balance. When you master this, you become unshakable. And unshakable people are rare, which is why they stand out everywhere they go. The real reason people rattle you when someone throws you off, it's not because they're powerful. It's because they touched an unhealed part of you, a sensitive spot, a wound, a subconscious insecurity, a part of you that still needs validation, a part of you that still fears rejection, a part of you that doesn't fully trust its own worth. People can't rattle the parts of you that are already whole. They only rattle the places where you haven't yet learned emotional sovereignty. Emotional sovereignty means your mood is yours, your confidence is yours, your value is yours, your reactions are yours. Your internal state belongs to you, not to strangers, not to coworkers, not to energy vampires, not to the unpredictable moods of the world. You own your internal weather. And once you claim that power, no one gets to storm inside without permission. The art of the internal pause. Before emotional self-mastery becomes instinct, it starts with one foundational skill: the ability to pause before you react. When someone says something disrespectful, surprising, or emotionally charged, your nervous system wants to react instantly. It wants to defend, or shrink, or argue, or explain, or people please, or shut down. That instant reaction is your old programming speaking. Self-mastery happens in the space between trigger, reaction. That space is called the conscious pause. In that microsecond, you choose. I don't match their energy. I don't absorb their mood. I won't give them control. I decide how I respond. This pause is your power. This pause is your emotional protection. This pause is where you remain in the driver's seat of your psychology. Weak people react fast. Strong people react intentionally. Your emotions are messages, not masters. You are allowed to feel anything: irritation, anger, embarrassment, anxiety. But you're not supposed to obey everything you feel. Emotion is a signal, not a command. Emotional self-mastery means, I feel this, but I choose this. Most people never reach this level. They let every emotion move them like puppets. Someone raises their voice. They panic. Someone disapproves. They shrink. Someone acts cold. They overthink. Someone withdraws. They chase. Someone criticizes. They collapse. They adjust their entire internal world to match someone else's mood. This is emotional slavery. You were not born for that. The 3 phases of emotional self-mastery. Phase 1. Awareness. Recognize your trigger quickly. Feel the tension, the heat, the mental shift, the emotional spike. Name it silently. This is activation. When you name it, you weaken it. Phase 2. Regulation. Your first task is not to respond. It's to regulate. 1 breath, 1 shoulder drop, 1 slow exhale. Regulation brings your brain back online. Phase 3. Choice. Respond only when you've returned to control. Not from fear, not from ego, not from insecurity, not from adrenaline, from clarity. This is self-mastery. The cosmic layer. Protecting your energy field. Here's what most people don't realize. When someone disrespects you, ignores you, judges you, interrupts you, or reacts coldly, it's not just psychological, it's energetic. People project their emotional chaos outward. If you're not grounded, you absorb it. But your energy field, your aura, is not supposed to be porous. It's supposed to be disciplined. A trained aura feels like this: stable, warm, steady, clear, grounded, impenetrable. When your energy is grounded, other people's moods slide off you like water. Their frustration does not become your anxiety. Their insecurity does not become your self-doubt. Their chaos does not become your emotional turbulence. They can be turbulent. You remain still. This is a form of spiritual strength, the ability to hold your frequency even when others lose theirs. Stop absorbing what isn't yours. Most of your emotional exhaustion doesn't come from your life. It comes from absorbing the emotional weight of others. You take responsibility for their reactions. You internalize their tone. You believe their projections. You mirror their moods. But here is the truth. Not everything you feel belongs to you. When someone is irritated, emotionally unstable, insecure, jealous, or stressed, their energy tries to push into your field. Your job is not to carry it. Your job is to recognize, this is not mine. Say it internally. Say it every time someone transfers emotional weight onto you. This is not mine. These 4 words will save you years of unnecessary self-doubt. You don't have to react to everything people will bring you. Their triggers, their wounds, their projections, their insecurities, their stories, their fears, their bad days. You don't have to absorb any of it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to justify your feelings. You don't have to match their tone. You don't have to take anything personally. You only have to stay centered. Centered people are rare, and they are respected because they don't get emotionally dragged into every moment. Your calm becomes your leadership. Your neutrality becomes your strength. Your steadiness becomes your advantage. When you become unrattleable, when you stop letting people control your internal world, conversations become easier. Conflict becomes manageable. Criticism becomes neutral. Disapproval loses its power. Awkward moments no longer destabilize you. You stop replaying old interactions. You stop people-pleasing. You stop apologizing for existing. You start speaking with clarity. You get respected without trying. Your energy doesn't fluctuate with the room. The room fluctuates with you. This is emotional sovereignty. This is who you are becoming. You will not live your life shaken by other people's moods. You will not hand your self-worth to strangers. You will not collapse in the presence of judgment. You will hold yourself. Every time. In every room. With every person. That is emotional self-mastery. Chapter 7. How to start a conversation without awkwardness. Starting a conversation shouldn't feel like stepping into a battlefield, but for many people it does. The mind panics. The body tightens. The overthinking begins. You worry about saying the wrong thing, running out of words, or not being interesting enough. You fear the silence, or worse, the judgment. But here's the truth. Starting a conversation is not about being impressive. It's about being present. When you understand that, everything shifts. People don't remember perfect lines. They remember how you made them feel. Safe, comfortable, seen, or valued. Conversation is not performance. It's connection. And connection begins with simplicity, sincerity, and self-regulation. The myth of the right thing to say. Most people freeze because they believe they must open with something brilliant. A clever line, a witty comment, a flawless introduction. But that belief destroys natural connection. The truth is, people do not bond over perfection. They bond over warmth. The best conversations often begin with something small, a simple greeting, a shared observation, a question about the environment, a compliment, a light comment about what's happening around you. You don't need a perfect opener. You need a human opener. A warm presence matters more than flawless words. The 3-second rule. The longer you hesitate, the more your fear grows. If you see someone you want to talk to, a potential friend, colleague, connection, or someone you admire, act within 3 seconds. Notice the opportunity. Take one breath. Begin speaking. A simple, "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "Hi, I think we've met before." Or, "That's a nice jacket. Where's it from?" The 3-second rule prevents your brain from building imaginary obstacles. Action kills anxiety. Hesitation feeds it. Shift. The spotlight off yourself. Most social anxiety comes from one illusion. You think people are watching you. But here's the reality. People are not analyzing you. They are analyzing themselves. They are wondering what you think of them. They are worried about how they sound. They are questioning their impression. When you realize this, the pressure melts away. People are not judges. They are mirrors, reflecting their own insecurities. Your job is not to impress them. Your job is to make space for them. When the spotlight moves off you and onto the conversation itself, everything becomes easier. The power of micro-openers. Most conversations start best when you begin small. You don't need depth immediately. You just need momentum. Here are micro-openers that work in almost any situation. "Hi, how's your day going? Have you been here before? I love your energy. What's your name? What brought you here today? That looks interesting. Is it any good? I noticed your shoes. Those are really cool." These are invitations, not performances. The secret is not the words. It's the energy behind them. Your body speaks before you do. You could say the perfect sentence, but if your body language communicates fear or withdrawal, the entire interaction collapses. Before you speak, uncross your arms. Drop your shoulders. Soften your jaw. Maintain warm eye contact. Keep your energy open. not tense. Your body says, I'm safe, you're safe, we can relax here. And people respond to that energy instantly. Humans read vibe before they read language. If your energy feels open, others will match it. Ask questions that create flow. The fastest way to create a smooth conversation is simple. Ask open-ended questions. Instead of, do you like your job? Yes or no. Try. What do you enjoy most about your work? How did you get into that field? What's something you're excited about lately? Open-ended questions create depth, emotional connection, natural momentum, comfort. People love talking about themselves when they feel safe. Let them. Your curiosity becomes your social superpower. Listen like you mean it. Most people don't listen. They wait. They wait for their turn to speak. They wait to sound smart. They wait to reply with something impressive. But emotionally intelligent people do something different. They listen. Not passively. Actively. Active listening is nodding, reacting, mirroring emotions, asking follow-up questions, staying fully present. Active listening does two things immediately. It makes the other person feel important. It takes the pressure off you, because the other person naturally reveals more to work with. When someone feels heard, they open up. When they open up, the conversation flows on its own. Don't fear silence. Use it. Silence is not awkward. Silence is space. Space for breath. Space for thought. Space for emotional processing. Confident people do not rush to fill silence. They sit in it with ease. They know silence is simply a moment of transition, not a threat. When you treat silence as natural, the other person relaxes too. The moment you stop fearing silence, you stop fearing conversation. The cosmic layer, conversation as energy exchange. Conversation is not just words. It is an energetic transaction. Every person has a field, a frequency, and when two people interact, their fields meet. This is why. Some people feel warm instantly. Some people feel draining. Some people feel safe. Some people feel tense. Some people feel magnetic. Starting a conversation becomes effortless when your energy is grounded, open, and steady. Your aura communicates before your words do. To prepare your energy, inhale slowly. Expand your chest. Imagine your energy field opening. Relax your face and jaw. Speak from calm, not performance. This shifts your frequency into confidence and approachability. People sense this subconsciously. Conversation becomes natural because your energy invites connection. Presence is more important than performance. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be charismatic. You don't have to be interesting. You just have to be present. Presence is the highest form of confidence. Presence removes awkwardness. Presence makes others feel safe. And safety is what creates connection. People remember how you make them feel, not what you said. If your presence radiates calmness, warmth, and grounded energy, conversations will unfold effortlessly. When you master this, social life blossoms. When you learn how to start conversations without fear, meeting new people becomes easy. Networking becomes natural. Social opportunities open up. Intimidation fades. You stop overthinking. You stop rehearsing every sentence. You become magnetic. Your confidence becomes visible. You no longer avoid connection. You initiate it. You no longer fear judgment. You lead the interaction. You no longer shrink in social settings. You expand. You become someone who walks into any room with ease, not because you know what to say, but because you trust who you are. Chapter 8. The Science of Being Instantly Likable. Being likable is not about being perfect. It's not about being attractive, charismatic, outgoing, or socially gifted. It's not about being the funniest person in the room or the most confident. Instant likability comes down to something deeper, something surprisingly simple. You make people feel good in your presence. That's it. Humans respond not to your words, but to your energy. The emotional experience of being around you. When someone feels safe, relaxed, valued, or uplifted around you, their brain labels you as likable in seconds. Likability is not a personality trait. It's a skill, built through specific behaviors, subtle emotional cues, and the frequency you project. This chapter reveals those mechanisms, both psychological and energetic, so you can become someone people naturally gravitate to. The likability formula: safety plus warmth plus presence. People are drawn to those who offer three things. 1. Safety. You don't judge. You don't attack. You don't make them feel small. Your presence feels predictable, grounded, and stable. 2. Warmth. You radiate a welcoming, open, and kind energy. Sincere, not forced. Calm, not overly enthusiastic. 3. Presence. You're actually there with them, not distracted, not rehearsing your next line, not self-conscious. This combination instantly disarms the human nervous system. Safety relaxes them. Warmth opens them. Presence connects them. People label you as likable because their body feels good around you, before their mind even analyzes it. People like you more when they feel liked. There is a psychological principle called reciprocity of liking. Humans like people who show that they like them. You don't have to say it directly. You communicate it through smiling with your eyes, leaning in slightly, softening your tone, remembering details, using their name, listening actively, showing enthusiasm for what they say. These micro-signals tell their subconscious, you are safe here. You matter here. I like being around you. And instantly, they like you more too. People mirror the emotional effect you have on them. If you make them feel valued, they will value you. If you make them feel appreciated, they will appreciate you. If you make them feel relaxed, they will want more of your presence. Likability is not magic. It's emotional generosity. The power of being genuinely interested. There is one question every human being subconsciously asks during interactions. Do you see me? Not just physically, emotionally. People crave to be noticed, to be understood, to be acknowledged, to be recognized. You become instantly likable when you show real interest in others, because interest is attention, and attention is emotional currency. Ask thoughtful questions. What made you choose that career? What's something you've been excited about lately? How did that experience change you? Go one layer deeper than surface-level small talk. It shows you care. It shows you're present. It shows you're different from the average conversational autopilot. Interest elevates people. Interest makes people feel alive. Interest makes people feel important. When someone feels emotionally illuminated in your presence, you become unforgettable. Be likable by being grounded, not impressive. Most people try to be likable by trying to be impressive, bragging subtly, talking too much, trying too hard to be funny, over-explaining, trying to prove their worth. But this backfires. It signals insecurity. Likability comes from groundedness, not performance. Grounded people communicate. I'm comfortable with myself. I don't need to impress you. I enjoy being here, but I don't need validation. This energy calms others. It eliminates pressure. It opens the door to authentic connection. Your groundedness becomes permission for others to relax and be themselves. And that is deeply likable. The energetic secret. People feel your aura before your words. Every person has an energy field, an emotional frequency, that others sense subconsciously. Two people can say the same sentence, but one feels magnetic and the other feels awkward because their energy behind the words is different. Likable people radiate a particular frequency: calm, open, warm, confident, emotionally centered, non-judgmental. This field says, "You're safe with me. You're seen. You're welcome here." Your aura shifts when you breathe deeper, relax your shoulders, soften your expression, focus your attention fully on the other person, release judgment, stay curious. Energetically, you widen your field, and others immediately gravitate toward you. Spiritual traditions call this heart coherence. Modern science calls it interpersonal resonance. People feel when your heart is open, and they mirror that openness back. Small habits that make you instantly likable. 1. Smile with intention, not obligation. A real smile lifts your energy. A forced smile tightens the body. 2. Use micro-affirmations. Little phrases like, "Totally. I get that. That makes sense." These create harmony. 3. Keep your tone warm and slow. A warm tone is more important than impressive words. 4. Give people your full attention, not the half-distracted phone-checking kind. The real presence. 5. Mirror their emotional state softly, not copying, aligning. 6. Offer small kindnesses. Kindness is the fastest likability accelerator on Earth. 7. Remember small details. People feel special when you remember things about them. Likability is not grand gestures. It's micro moments that accumulate into emotional impact. Being likable doesn't mean being a people pleaser. This part is important. Being likable does not mean sacrificing your boundaries, saying yes to everything, avoiding conflict, being overly agreeable, abandoning your opinions, shrinking to make others comfortable. That isn't likability. That's self-erasure. Likability comes from strength, not submission. People like those who know themselves, respect themselves, have standards, speak with integrity, stay calm under pressure, project confidence without arrogance. The world respects you more when you respect yourself. Why instant likability matters. When people feel comfortable in your presence, everything changes. Conversations become easier. Friendships form faster. Opportunities open naturally. People trust you quicker. Social anxiety decreases. You're invited into more spaces. Your influence increases. Your relationships deepen. Your charisma strengthens. Being likable isn't about manipulating people. It's about elevating people. And when you elevate others, they elevate you in return. Likability is not a talent. It is a conscious choice to make others feel seen, valued, and emotionally safe. And once you master that, you become magnetic without trying. Chapter 9. Mastering Deep, Meaningful Conversations. Think about the last conversation that stayed with you. The one you replayed later because it felt real, grounding, intimate, or effortless. Chances are, it wasn't about small talk or generic questions. It was deeper than that. It left you feeling understood, connected, seen. Humans crave depth, but most conversations never go past the surface because people are afraid of vulnerability, afraid of awkwardness, afraid of feeling exposed. So they stay in safe topics, weather, work, daily routines, and never touch anything meaningful. But connection doesn't live on the surface. Connection lives in the emotional depth beneath it. Deep conversation is not about talking more. It's about talking real. Not about impressing, but revealing. Not about forcing intimacy, but allowing it. Mastering deep conversation turns you into someone people trust instantly. Someone they open up to without knowing why. Someone who creates emotional gravity in any room. Let's break down how that works. Depth begins with presence. You cannot go deep with someone when your mind is somewhere else, analyzing, rehearsing, worrying, judging, or waiting for your turn to speak. Meaningful conversation begins the moment you decide, I'm here, fully. When you're truly present, your energy softens, your mind clears, your listening sharpens, your intuition activates. Presence creates emotional space for depth to emerge naturally. Most people talk but don't listen. They hear the words but not the meaning. They respond but don't connect. Presence fixes that. Presence signals, I'm safe, you can open up here. That signal alone begins to deepen the exchange. Ask better questions. Small talk asks, what do you do? How was your weekend? Where are you from? Deep conversation asks, what drew you to that path? What's been inspiring you lately? What's something that changed you? What's a dream you haven't told many people about? The difference is not complexity, it's intention. Surface-level questions ask for information. Deep questions ask for emotion, experience, and identity. People crave to share the meaningful parts of themselves. They're just waiting for someone who opens that door. You become that person when your questions invite more than facts. They invite truth. Follow the emotional thread. Depth doesn't happen because of the first question. It happens because of the second, the follow-up, the gentle dig, the emotional curiosity. When someone shares something small, don't move on. Follow the thread. For example, they say, I've been really busy with work. You could ask, what's been the hardest part recently? What's keeping you motivated? Does it feel like you're doing what you're meant to do? That's where depth unlocks. Every conversation has these tiny doors. Most people walk past them. Emotionally intelligent people walk through them. Follow their emotions, not their words. That's how you get depth. Listen with your whole energy, not just your ears. Deep listening is not passive. It's active. It's intentional. It's felt. When you listen deeply, you're not waiting. You're receiving. You're absorbing their tone, their pauses, their body language, their emotional subtext. Listening with your energy means soft eye contact, gentle nods, leaning in slightly, making them feel heard, keeping your presence calm and open. This does something powerful. It regulates the other person's nervous system. When someone feels emotionally regulated by your presence, they naturally open up more. They speak from sincerity rather than self-protection. That's when conversation shifts from social to soulful. Share a little before you go deeper. People match your level of openness. If you stay closed, they stay closed. If you stay surface level, they stay surface level. Depth requires vulnerability, not dramatic confessions, but small, honest signals of humanity. That made me nervous too. I used to struggle with that. I feel the same way sometimes. I've been thinking about that a lot lately. When you reveal even a small piece of truth, you invite theirs. Vulnerability is a permission slip. You go first, and people follow. Embrace the power of pause. Silence is not awkward. Silence is intimacy. When someone opens up, don't rush to respond. Don't fill the space with advice or jokes. Let the silence breathe. A pause communicates. I'm processing what you said. I'm present with you. You don't need to perform. Your stillness deepens their trust. Your calmness deepens their comfort. Your presence deepens the connection. Most people fear silence because they fear discomfort. But silence is where depth grows. Go beyond words. Notice their truth. Emotion is not always spoken. Sometimes it's visible in the way they glance down, the slight shake in their voice, the tension in their shoulders, the hesitation before answering. the shift in their breathing. When you notice those subtle emotional cues and gently reflect them, the conversation deepens instantly. For example, you paused when you said that. What came up? It sounds like that meant a lot to you. You tightened when you mentioned that. Does it still affect you? This shows emotional attunement. It shows depth. It shows you care enough to see beyond the surface. People are moved by being truly understood, not just heard. The cosmic layer. When two auras connect. Deep conversation is not intellectual. It's energetic. Two energy fields meet. Two nervous systems synchronize. Two emotional frequencies harmonize. This is why some conversations feel electric, as if the space between you becomes alive. It's resonance. When your energy is open and grounded, your aura expands, your intuition sharpens, your sensitivity heightens, your presence softens, your connection deepens. People feel safe to express the parts of themselves they hide from the world. This is soul-level communication, not scripted, not forced, but naturally emergent. Deep conversation is spiritual because it creates a shared field of truth. The "you make me feel seen" effect. When you master deep conversation, people say things like, "I don't know why I'm telling you this. I've never told anyone that before. I feel comfortable around you. I feel like I can be myself." This is the highest compliment a human can receive. It means your presence is healing, your awareness is grounding, your energy is safe, your attention is rare, your essence is magnetic. Depth is not a technique, it is a way of being. When you master this, connections transform, deep conversation unlocks trust, intimacy, influence, loyalty, emotional closeness, opportunity, romantic chemistry, lifelong friendships, authentic relationships. Your social world becomes richer, fuller, more meaningful. You stop attracting surface interactions. You start attracting aligned souls. You stop feeling alone in rooms full of people. You start feeling connected in ways that actually matter. You stop performing. You start relating. You stop hiding. You start living from truth. Deep conversation is not about saying more. It's about saying what matters. And once you learn this skill, your relationships and your entire social experience evolve forever. Chapter 10. Reading people like a pro. Some people walk into a room and instantly sense everything. Who's uncomfortable? Who's confident? Who's pretending? Who's anxious? Who's open? Who's guarded? They can feel tension without anyone speaking. They can sense sincerity without asking. They pick up on shifts in energy, tone, and body language, the way others pick up on sound. This is not magic. This is not intuition, reserved for the gifted. Reading people is a skill, and you can master it. When you know how to read someone's emotions, intentions, and inner state, you gain a powerful advantage. Conversations become smoother. Conflict becomes easier to navigate. You avoid manipulative people. You sense attraction and interest clearly. You protect yourself from hidden agendas. You build trust effortlessly. You respond to people with precision. Most misunderstandings don't happen because people speak poorly. They happen because people listen poorly. Learning to read people solves that. The foundation. Watch what they do, not what they say. Words can lie. Tone can deceive. But energy and behavior expose the truth. A person's body reveals more than their mouth ever will. Look at their posture, their breathing, their eye contact, their shoulders, their jaw, their hands, their micro-reactions. These details give you real-time emotional information. Tension, discomfort or defensiveness, avoidance, anxiety or guilt. Stillness, listening, trust, or calm focus. Fidgeting, insecurity or overstimulation. Expansive gestures, confidence or enthusiasm. Shrinking posture. Fear, self-doubt, or withdrawal. People may hide their words. They rarely hide their physiology. Read the 3 channels of human communication. Every person communicates on 3 levels simultaneously. 1. Verbal, words, what they say. 2. Paraverbal, tone, speed, pitch, how they say it. 3. Nonverbal, body language, energy, micro-expressions, what they actually feel. Most people only listen to number 1. Professionals listen to all 3, especially number 3. If the words and the energy don't match, believe the energy. The power of micro-expressions. Micro-expressions are split-second facial reactions that reveal true emotions before someone tries to hide them. Examples: a quick eye roll, irritation, a flash of raised brows, surprise or disbelief, lips tightening, resistance or defensiveness, a half smile, uncertainty or forced politeness, a softened face, trust or warmth. These signs last less than a second, but they tell the entire story. If someone says, "Yeah, I'm fine," but their eyes narrow for a split moment, they're not fine. Learn to watch the face right after someone reacts. That's where the truth lives. Learn to hear what their tone is hiding. People reveal more through tone than through words. Tone tells you confidence, insecurity, annoyance, excitement, fear, interest, attraction, emotional fatigue. Examples: a voice that suddenly becomes soft, vulnerability, a voice that gets louder, defensiveness or fear, a higher pitch, anxiety or trying to be accepted, a slower pace, trust, comfort or reflection, a monotone, emotional shutdown or boredom. Words tell you their story. Tone tells you their state. The 5-second energy read. Before listening to what someone says, pay attention to the room inside them. In the first 5 seconds, ask yourself, is their energy open or closed? Open energy feels warm, relaxed, welcoming, expressive, engaging, receptive. Closed energy feels tight, guarded, tense, defensive, withdrawn, cold. You don't need to label their personality, just their current state. When you can read energy quickly, you respond with accuracy. Closed energy: give space, soften your presence, avoid pushing. Open energy: invite connection, deepen the conversation, engage warmly. This one skill alone transforms every social interaction. The shift moment. A sign of hidden truth. When someone's energy suddenly changes, it means something inside them got touched. A shift can be a drop in eye contact, a stiffening of posture, a change in breath, a slight step back, a sudden laugh to cover discomfort, a change in speaking volume. This shift is not random. It's a signal. It means you just hit something important. Skilled readers don't force the topic. They gently explore it with empathy. I noticed your tone changed. What came up? You hesitated for a moment. Does that feel hard to talk about? You got quiet. How are you feeling right now? These questions deepen trust and reveal truth. Observe their body, not their projection. People project many things: confidence that hides insecurity, calmness that hides anxiety, politeness that hides anger, humor that hides pain, logic that hides emotion, indifference that hides fear, distance that hides longing. To read people well, look past the mask. Notice, does their smile reach their eyes? Do their gestures match their words? Is their posture aligned with their message? Is their enthusiasm real or rehearsed? The body never performs as convincingly as the mouth does. The cosmic layer. You read people with your nervous system, not your eyes. Reading people is not just visual. It is energetic. Your nervous system is always scanning. Is this person safe? Are they open? Are they tense? Are they aligned? Are they hiding something? What emotion is their aura projecting? You feel people before you understand them. This is why. You instantly dislike someone, but can't explain why. You trust someone immediately. Someone's presence feels heavy or draining. Someone feels calming without saying a word. You sense tension between two people. You feel when someone is pretending. Your body reads the truth long before your mind processes it. This is intuition, rooted in biology, expressed through energy. When you learn to trust that instinct, you read people with precision. The listen with your skin method. A powerful technique. Stop listening only with your ears. Listen with your whole body. Feel their emotional temperature, their pace, their breathing, their nervous system, their emotional frequency. This helps you sense what's happening beneath the conversation. Are they anxious? Are they intimidated? Are they trying to impress you? Are they hiding sadness? Are they losing confidence? Are they opening up? When you can feel someone shift emotionally, you guide the interaction with accuracy. This is how true empaths, leaders, therapists, and socially intelligent people operate. When you master this, the world becomes transparent. Reading people gives you quiet power. You stop misreading intentions. You stop taking things personally. You stop confusing silence with rejection. You stop attracting manipulators. You stop feeling lost in social settings. You stop feeling confused by mixed signals. Instead, you understand people clearly. You navigate social dynamics with confidence. You respond with emotional precision. You gain influence effortlessly. You build deep, authentic relationships. You stay grounded in every room. When you read people well, nothing surprises you, because you can feel the truth long before it's spoken. Chapter 11. Social Anxiety Hacks. How to stay confident in any situation. Social anxiety doesn't come from who you are. It comes from what your mind thinks will happen. Your brain invents worst-case scenarios. What if they don't like me? What if I say something stupid? What if I embarrass myself? What if they judge me? Then your body reacts as if those fears are already true. Your heart races. Your breath tightens. Your mind scatters. You feel small, exposed, or out of place. But here's the truth most people never hear. Social anxiety is not a personality trait. It is a state, and states can be changed. When you understand how anxiety works and how to interrupt it, you stop being controlled by imagined threats and start showing up as your grounded, confident self. Let's break this down. The root of social anxiety. Hyperfocus on self. Social anxiety is not about people. It's not about the environment. It's not even about conversation. It's about overfocusing on yourself. Your mind zooms in on how you stand, how you sound, how you look, how you're being perceived, how you might fail, what you should say next. When your attention turns inward, anxiety takes over. Confidence flows when your attention turns outward. Shift the focus from how am I being seen to what's happening around me. This removes 70% of anxiety on the spot. Attention creates emotion. When you stop watching yourself, you stop fearing yourself. Hack number 1. The 5-second grounding reset. Before or during any social moment, do this. 5 seconds. 3 steps. Full reset. Step 1. Feel your feet. Bring awareness to the soles of your feet. This pulls you out of your head and back into your body. Step 2. Drop your shoulders. Tension feeds anxiety. A relaxed body tells your mind you are safe. Step 3. Exhale longer than you inhale. Long exhale. Instant nervous system. Calm. This interrupts anxiety before it spirals. A grounded body creates a grounded presence. Hack number 2. Stop trying to perform. You don't need to be impressive. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be interesting. You don't need to entertain anyone. Social anxiety rises when you believe you must perform to earn acceptance. Here's the reframe. You are not there to impress. You are there to connect. Connection is simple. It's natural. It doesn't require perfection. Replace pressure with curiosity. Instead of, I hope I don't mess up, say, I wonder what this person is like. Curiosity dissolves self-consciousness. Hack number 3. The 90% rule. People are too busy thinking about themselves to judge you. Research shows people spend 90% of their mental energy thinking about themselves, not you. This means they're not scanning for your flaws. They're not analyzing you as deeply as you think. They forget your awkward moments fast. They're dealing with their own insecurities. When you realize this, the pressure disappears. You're not being evaluated. You're being experienced. Just show up authentically. Hack number 4. Change the story you're telling yourself. Every anxious moment begins with a story. They won't like me. I'm socially awkward. I don't fit in. I'm not confident. I always screw up. Your nervous system reacts to your interpretation, not reality. Rewrite the script. I belong here. I handle things as they come. People enjoy my energy. I don't need to be perfect. I'm safe in this moment. The story you tell becomes the state you live in. Hack number 5. Small wins build social confidence. Confidence is not built through big moments. It's built through repetition of small victories. Say hi to a cashier. Compliment someone's shirt. Ask a simple question. Make eye contact with one extra person. Hold small conversations in low-pressure settings. Every small social action trains your nervous system. I can handle this. This isn't dangerous. I don't need to panic. Over time, what used to terrify you becomes easy. Confidence is accumulated courage. Hack number 6. Master your pre-social routine. Before entering any social space, do this. 1. Posture up, straight spine. Instant authority. 2. Slow your breath. Slow breath. Calm energy. 3. Expand your chest. Open aura. 4. Relax your face. Soft face. Approachability. 5. Imagine your energy expanding. Visualize your aura filling the space around you. This creates presence. You're not walking in timid. You're walking in centered. Your energy enters the room before your body does. Hack number 7. The cosmic shift. Anxiety is just energy with no direction. Here's the spiritual layer. Social anxiety is not weakness. It is raw energy that has nowhere to go. When energy rises and you don't guide it, it becomes fear. When you guide it, it becomes presence. Channel that energy into deeper breath, grounded posture, slower movements, calm awareness, outward attention. You're not calming anxiety. You're transforming the same energy into confidence. You're not fighting your fear. You're redirecting your frequency. Hack number 8. Stop over-identifying with anxiety. You are not anxious. You experience anxiety. There is a difference. Don't say, I have social anxiety. Say, I'm feeling activation. My nervous system is alert. This is temporary. Emotions lose power the moment you stop seeing them as your identity. Hack number 9. Practice. Social micro-courage. Every time you resist the urge to avoid, you grow, you expand, you train your nervous system, you break the old pattern, you weaken the fear pathway, you choose self-leadership. Micro-courage compounds into macro-confidence. This is how shy people transform. Hack the Remurger 10. Embrace your imperfections. Confidence doesn't come from being flawless. Confidence comes from being unbothered by flaws. The moment you stop trying to appear perfect, anxiety loses its grip. People connect with authenticity, not perfection. Let yourself be human. Let yourself stumble. Let yourself pause. Let yourself breathe. Let yourself be imperfect. Perfection pushes people away. Authenticity pulls them closer. When you master this, social situations become easy. You stop dreading conversations. You stop rehearsing what to say. You stop overthinking every move. You stop shrinking in rooms. You stop apologizing for existing. Instead, you relax. You breathe. You engage naturally. You trust yourself. You show up fully. You enjoy people. You enjoy being seen. You enjoy being you. Social anxiety no longer defines you. It becomes something you manage, something you master, something you rise above. And the moment you realize, I can handle any social situation, your entire social life changes. Chapter 12. How to make people feel important and why it changes everything. There is one universal truth about human connection. People never forget how you make them feel. Not what you said, not what you wore, not how clever you were, not how impressive you tried to be. What stays with them, what bonds them to you, what makes them trust you, what makes them want to be around you, is the emotional experience they had in your presence. And the most powerful emotional experience you can give someone is this: you matter here. When you master the skill of making people feel important, you become magnetic in every room. People open up to you. People trust you. People respect you. People feel safe with you. People want to be connected to you, because feeling important is not about ego. It's about significance, belonging, and emotional recognition. This chapter shows you how to create that effect with sincerity, subtlety, and power. The human need. You must understand. Every person you meet, confident or insecure, loud or quiet, accomplished or struggling, carries the same internal hunger. See me, hear me, value me. Even those who pretend they don't care secretly crave it. Even the strongest people soften when they feel it. Even the coldest people open up when you show it. People feel important when they feel listened to, understood, respected, remembered, appreciated, emotionally safe. When you give someone these experiences, they associate you with positive emotional elevation. That is influence. That is likability. That is leadership. That is social mastery. The simplest way to make someone feel important: full presence. Nothing makes someone feel insignificant faster than split attention. Checking your phone, looking around the room, thinking about what to say next, nodding but not listening, pretending to care but being mentally absent. People feel the moment you disconnect. Presence is the ultimate social currency because it's rare. When you give someone your full attention, your eyes, your energy, your calmness, you create a magnetic container where they feel emotionally prioritized. Presence says, you matter enough for me to be here, fully here. That alone elevates you in their mind. See the person, not just the role. Most people interact with labels: the cashier, the manager, the student, the coworker, the shy one, the loud one. But when you look past the role and acknowledge the human behind it, something shifts. You can see it in their face. They soften. Their energy expands. They loosen their guard. Examples: instead of thanks, say, thank you. You handled that really well. Instead of nice job, say, I really appreciate the care you put into that. Instead of, how are you? Say, how are you today? Honestly. People feel important when they feel seen, not categorized. The art of remembering details. A tiny detail remembered can make someone feel overwhelmingly valued. Their favorite drink, something they mentioned last week. Their project or goal, a challenge they were dealing with, a moment they shared with you. When you remember, you communicate. I didn't just hear you. I kept you with me. This creates emotional intimacy instantly. People open up to those who make them feel memorable. Use their name with warmth. A name is not a label. It is identity. When you say someone's name gently, sincerely, and at the right moments, it creates warmth and connection. Tell me more about that, Maya. I get what you mean, Daniel. I'm glad you shared that, Anna. Use the name sparingly. Use it with intention. Use it with warmth. It sends a subtle signal. I see you as an individual, not as background noise. Validate their emotions without trying to fix them. One of the deepest social skills, validation without rescue. Most people try to fix someone's feelings, but people don't always want solutions. They want acknowledgement. Examples. I can understand why that frustrated you. That must have taken a lot of strength. I get why that felt heavy. That sounds meaningful to you. Validation creates emotional safety. Safety makes people feel important. Important people bond with you. Celebrate their wins, not just their struggles. People usually get support when they suffer, but they rarely get celebration when they succeed. Be the person who celebrates small wins, personal growth, effort, courage, self-improvement, resilience. Say things like, I'm proud of you. You're growing. That took confidence. A lot of people wouldn't have done that. You should feel good about that. It shows who you're becoming. When you reflect someone's greatness back to them, you become unforgettable. The cosmic layer. Your energy makes people feel important. This is subtle but powerful. People feel important when your energy expands toward them, when your aura opens, when your heart softens, when your attention sharpens, when your frequency meets theirs without judgment. Energy communicates faster than language. Your presence says, you matter. I honor you. I welcome you. You are safe to be yourself with me. And they feel it immediately. This is why some people make strangers feel valued within seconds. It's not their words, it's their field. You can cultivate this energetic presence by breathing deeply, relaxing your chest, softening your eyes, staying grounded, focusing your attention outward, practicing compassion. When your energy is open, people feel chosen, not tolerated. Make people feel important without losing yourself. Important note, making people feel valued is not people-pleasing, overgiving, abandoning your boundaries, being overly accommodating, sacrificing your dignity. True emotional generosity comes from strength, not self-erasure. You honor others because you are rooted in yourself, not because you need their approval. Confidence is the foundation. Warmth is the expression. The impact you create. When you master the skill of making people feel important, people trust you faster, conversations become deeper, connections form easily, opportunities find you. Your social presence becomes magnetic. You influence without forcing. Others open up effortlessly. You become unforgettable. People are starved for acknowledgement. When you offer it, sincerely, calmly, without agenda, they attach emotionally to your presence. Not because you manipulated them, not because you impressed them, but because you made them feel something rare. I matter. and the one who gives that feeling becomes irreplaceable. Conclusion. The social self you were always capable of becoming. When you began this audiobook, you may have carried certain beliefs about yourself. Beliefs shaped by insecurity, past experiences, or years of feeling misunderstood, overlooked, or socially uncertain. Maybe you believed you weren't naturally confident. Maybe you believed others had a social ease you lacked. Maybe you believed connection came easily to those people, not you. Maybe you believed social intelligence was something you either had or didn't. Maybe you believed that awkwardness, overthinking, or anxiety were flaws you had to hide. But now you know the truth. Social confidence is not a personality trait. It is a skill, a trainable, expandable, neurological, and energetic skill. Everything you have learned in these chapters has one purpose: to show you the version of yourself that was always possible. A version that wasn't hiding, wasn't shrinking, wasn't analyzing every move, wasn't performing for approval. A version of you who moves through the world with calm strength, grounded presence, and quiet self-trust. A version of you who knows how to communicate, connect, and influence, not through force, but through energy, awareness, and sincerity. This is who you are becoming. This is who you were always capable of being. Let's bring everything together. The you who can enter any room with confidence. Confidence is no longer an act. It is no longer a suit you put on to appear stronger than you feel. You've learned that. Confidence lives in your nervous system. Confidence is emotional regulation. Confidence is grounded body language. Confidence is steady breath. Confidence is presence. Confidence is energetic stability. Confidence is not loud. It is certain. You now understand that pressure does not break you. It reveals where you need training, and you now have the tools to train. This is how you become someone who stays calm under pressure. Someone whose presence itself signals leadership. The you who connects without fear. Connection is no longer a mystery. It's a rhythm, simple, warm, and human. You've learned that. Conversation is not performance. Depth is not dangerous. Silence is not awkward. Eye contact is not confrontation. Mistakes are not failures. Presence matters more than perfection. You now know how to start conversations with ease, flow beyond small talk, create meaningful emotional exchange, listen with your whole energy, make people feel safe and important, allow connection instead of chasing it. People open up to you because they feel your sincerity. People gravitate toward you because you radiate calmness. People trust you because you know how to read them. And yourself. The you who can read any room, any person, any situation. Where others guess, you observe. Where others react, you understand. You've learned to read. Body language, tone, micro-expressions, shifts in energy, emotional patterns, subconscious cues, the difference between words and truth. You can now sense when someone is open, closed, anxious, defensive, hiding, pretending, attracted, intimidated, confused, disconnected. This makes you both powerful and compassionate. Powerful because you see beneath the mask. Compassionate because you understand the humanity behind the behavior. This is emotional intelligence at its highest form. The you who no longer collapses in the presence of others. You learned that emotional sovereignty is the core of social mastery. You no longer absorb people's moods. Let someone's tone shrink you. Let someone's energy destabilize you. Take everything personally. Chase validation. Abandon yourself. Lose control in conflict. Instead, you pause. You regulate. You respond from clarity, not fear. You hold your center. You hold your power. You hold your presence. This makes you unshakable, not because nothing affects you, but because you have learned how to stay grounded in every emotional storm, the you who makes others feel important. This, perhaps more than anything, is what elevates you socially. You learned that people remember emotional impact more than anything else. Now you know how to listen deeply, validate sincerely, ask meaningful questions, celebrate their wins, acknowledge their emotions, notice their details, expand your energy toward them, give them the rare gift of presence. People feel valued in your presence, and this makes them attached to you emotionally, trust you quickly, and see you as someone with depth and character. You no longer chase affection. You inspire it. The you who is both grounded and magnetic. You learned that social mastery has 2 layers. 1. The psychological layer, body language, tone, emotional regulation, social awareness, communication skills. 2. The energetic layer, aura coherence, expanded presence, emotional frequency, energetic boundaries, intuitive sensitivity. When you combine both, you become someone people describe as, I don't know why, but there's something about them. They make me feel calm. They feel safe. They're different. They're magnetic. I want to be around them more. This is not manipulation. This is alignment. Your internal world matching your external expression. When your energy is grounded, your presence becomes undeniable. The true transformation. What changed throughout this book was not your personality. It was your relationship with yourself. You didn't become someone else. You became more you, more grounded, more aware, more present, more emotionally stable, more socially intelligent, more connected, more open, more confident, more sincere, more empowered. This is the social self you were always capable of being. Not loud, not performative, not perfect, just balanced, aware, and deeply human. The future you step into now. The tools are in your hands. The awareness is in your body. The confidence is in your breath. The intuition is in your field. The groundedness is in your posture. The connection is in your presence. The power is in your calmness. The clarity is in your mind. The transformation is already happening. You now walk into rooms with a new frequency. You speak with a new steadiness. You connect with a new depth. You read people with a new clarity. You carry yourself with a new quiet authority. You do not need to force anything. You simply need to be the version of yourself this book awakened. You are socially intelligent. You are emotionally grounded. You are intuitively aware. You are confident. You are magnetic. You are safe to be around. You are powerful in silence. You are impactful in presence. You are capable beyond what you believed. This is not the end of your transformation. It is the beginning of your new experience in the world.